When people think of Miami, most likely what comes to mind are palm trees and beautiful beaches. The beach and its nightlife are some things that make the idea of living in Miami exciting. But before you pack up your things and move your family there, you might want to take a look at the reasons that make the city a poor choice for a new start. Hey y'all, and welcome to Across the Globe. Today we will look at 7 reasons you shouldn't move to Miami, Florida. We start our list with Number 1. Urban sprawl. Miami is an old city and lacks the charm of other cities in Florida. Urban sprawl is a major problem in the Miami area. Urban sprawl is a term that refers to the spread of development beyond its urban core. Because the Everglades and Big Cypress Swamp were so obviously unsuitable for residential or commercial development, Miami is a part of an urban sprawl that stretches north to Hialeah, Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, and Delray Beach, south to Key Biscayne and the island of Key Largo, and west until all roads come to an abrupt stop not far from Old Route 1 and south of Tamiami. Route 1 was actually named in 1926 as the first numbered highway in the United States. Urban sprawl in Florida is mostly caused by rapid population increase. You're not the only one thinking about moving there. According to a recent study, the state's population is expected to increase by 303,264 people a year, or 831 people every day. There will be a greater need for physical areas for people to live in, work in, and visit, which could also result in a greater demand for natural resources. Number 2. Unbearably hot. The city's weather is notoriously hot and humid, which makes it difficult for residents to stay cool. Miami rarely ever experiences snow. If you're contemplating moving to Miami, you might be tempted to think that the weather is great, but it's not. The city of Miami is prone to hurricanes and tropical storms. Hurricanes can strike without warning, and it's not uncommon for these storms to cause flooding and damage in Miami Beach, especially when they make landfall near the city itself. While there are many people who love it here and have no desire to leave, there are also many who hate it here because they can't stand the heat and humidity. The climate is classified as humid subtropical, so it can be quite unbearable as it's often exposed to both sunshine and humidity. It's not uncommon for Miami to see temperatures over 100 degrees Fahrenheit during the summer months, and there are usually at least 3 months per year when it doesn't dip below 80 degrees Fahrenheit. The heat can be overbearing for 9 months of the year, but even during cooler months, it may be much hotter than you imagine. That also means that there are virtually no differences in seasons across the state, which can be annoying. While this isn't unusual for most cities in Florida, it can become challenging if you're not used to extreme heat. Number 3. Pests and dangerous animals. Miami has many pests and dangerous animals. Some of these include snakes, scorpions, cockroaches, centipedes, and spiders. These pests can be found in almost every home or apartment you visit, as well as in restaurants and businesses. One of the biggest threats to your health in Miami is the mosquito population. The mosquitoes in Miami are more than just an occasional nuisance. They are everywhere, especially in the warmer, humid, rainy months. Snakes aren't just common in Miami. They're also quite aggressive and will defend themselves if threatened. It is not uncommon to find an alligator resting in your backyard in Miami. Because of the urban sprawl, homes are being built close to swamps and Everglade areas. In the warm tropical environment, insects and pests seem to always find their way into people's homes. If you don't like being too close to wildlife, it's best to stay away from Miami. Number 4. High cost of living. Miami is one of the most expensive cities in the country, with a cost of living up to 60% higher than the national average. Some of the major costs include rentals, transportation, food, and entertainment. Miami is the most expensive city in the U.S. to live in, with rent rising to $3,000 a month, while incomes are falling as a result of the influx of workaholic New York tech employees into the Sunshine State. If you're thinking about moving to Miami, you're probably wondering how much it costs to live in Miami per month. We'll do a quick breakdown here so you can get a general idea. Rent runs about $2,500 per month for an apartment, and the average monthly utility bill for one person should be around $150. In terms of food, you can live comfortably on $400 per month for a single person. This amount, however, would only allow for a few meals out. In terms of transportation, you could take public transportation, but most Miami professionals own a car and drive to work. As a result, you should budget an additional $150 per month for car insurance. You should also budget $100 per month for gas, but prepare to pay more as gas prices keep rising. All of this is presuming you own your car. Otherwise, you would have to factor in the car payment. So, for a family of 4, you must have a cash flow of $6,000 to $7,000 per month to live a comfortable life in Miami. In addition to the high cost of housing and other necessities, many people must pay high taxes and be subject to a high cost of living just to get by in Miami. According to Rasmussen, Florida is far behind the whole nation when adjusting for wages versus relative costs. The high cost of living also makes it difficult to save money. Miami is a great city for those who enjoy spending huge sums of money on luxury items or shopping at high-end stores. However, for many people who do not have a large income or enough savings to spend on such things, Miami can be very difficult to afford. Number 5. Real estate costs are high. As we mentioned, living in Miami, Florida is not cheap. Miami is one of the most expensive cities in the country, and it doesn't help that there are so many people living here. When you're looking for affordable housing, it can be hard to find a place that isn't beyond your budget. The cost of living for a 4-person family in Miami goes to around $3,700 per month. If you're buying a home, you can find one that's decent for around $396,659. Additionally, closing costs are also high compared to other large U.S. cities. In addition to high housing costs, Miami also has some of the highest auto insurance rates in the country. In its 2021 analysis, the U.S. News & World Report ranked Florida's general cost of living as above average compared to the rest of the U.S. and also ranked it the 8th worst for housing affordability. Coconut Grove is the most expensive residential community, with a median home price of $1,599,184 and a median rent of $1,544. Coconut Grove ranks first among Miami areas of town in terms of home price growth over the last 3 years. Number 6. Poor infrastructure. Miami has poor infrastructure, particularly in terms of transportation systems and public transportation systems. Waste management services and even clean water supply systems have seen better days, especially with regards to sewage systems which are prone to clogging up due to heavy rains or flooding. On average, Miami, Florida receives 59 inches of rain per year. The average annual rainfall in the United States is 38 inches. June is the rainiest in Miami, with an average rainfall of 6.3 inches. Although Miami has expanded its light rail system to connect with downtown, it's still not enough to get you around without your own car. According to Wallet Hub, Miami ranks near the bottom of the best cities to drive to in the United States. The city's surrounding waters rose 6 inches within the past 25 years, and tidal flooding is up 400% since 2006, which is the result of poor plumbing safety systems. The roads are dangerous, and there aren't many parks or green spaces to relax in. If you're looking for a modern, highly efficient, and economical city that has reliable infrastructure, then perhaps this isn't the right place for you. Number 7. Lack of art and culture. Miami is a diverse city, but that doesn't mean it's a good place to go if you want to experience art, music, and culture at its finest. The city has been known for its tropical climate and beautiful beaches, which have made it a popular tourist destination with visitors from all over the world. Of course, there is the world-renowned Art Basel and the trendy Wynwood district, but if you're looking for an artsy or cultural experience all year long, this is not the city for you. The art and culture it does have are nowhere near the level of places like New York or Chicago. If you want to live somewhere with a thriving art scene, you should consider other cities that could offer you more than just beaches and palm trees. The city of Miami is a very popular tourist destination. Most people move to Miami because they want to experience the Miami lifestyle and beach life. However, the city has its drawbacks if you want more. So what has been your experience with Miami? Would you recommend this city to others? Let me know your answers in the comment section. If you liked this video and want to get more unspoken information about cities and towns across the US, watch these 2 videos right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.